eto Cynhadledd, good afternoon. Once again, conference. It is wonderful, isn't it, to be back here in Wrexham. This is the city that I was proud to grow up in, and a city that shows us that with relentless ambition, a brighter future is always possible. Just as Wrexham Football Club have set out on a bold new course, proving that ambition and belief can transform their fortunes, I also believe that the Welsh Liberal Democrats' ambitious plans for Wales can deliver happier, healthier lives for people in every corner of our country. If you'd asked most Wrexham supporters as recently as 2020 whether this season they thought that they'd be watching their team play in the Championships, beating sides like Norwich City and Reading, you'd have been laughed out of the Turf pub. You see, like the Welsh people, Wrexham supporters had been asked to settle. Playing in the National League, this pioneering club that gave fans like myself and my brother so many wonderful memories, had become a shadow of its former self. As a proud Welsh speaker, I love my country, our beautiful landscapes, our welcoming communities, and our compassionate, caring culture. And that's before I even mention our sporting prowess. Conference, we have so much to be proud of. But the sad truth is, back to football again, just like Mickey Thomas's 82nd minute FA Cup wonder goal against Arsenal in 1992, I'm sure you all remember that, or Wrexham's great European nights of the 1970s, it can sometimes feel as though Wales's best days are behind us. We feel like this because for too long, politicians in both Westminster and Cardiff have asked people across Wales to settle for fewer job opportunities, to settle for less prosperous lives than those of our parents, to settle for worse schools, hospitals, and public services. We've become so used to our children moving away to find decent jobs, or our parents being told yet again that their operation has been delayed, that it's almost hard to imagine things being any different. But conference, I don't accept that the way things are the way things have to be. Neither should the Welsh people. Many of you will know that I worked as a child protection social worker for 25 years before entering politics. This experience taught me just how broken our political system is and just how damaging the terrible treadmill of poverty is as well. As someone who desperately wants to see change in our country, it's easy to see why so many are abandoning the Conservative and Labour parties ahead of next year's Senedd elections. But simply, changing who is sitting around the cabinet table in Wales just isn't enough. Wales needs real change. Given how despondent and fed up many in Wales are of the old political parties, I can understand why Reform's simple-sounding solutions appeal to people who are genuinely concerned about the state of our country. There can be no doubt that Nigel Farage is different. A former commodities trader turned career politician, an MP with 12 second jobs pocketing around £1 million a year. This is a man who pretends to care for ordinary people by pitting them against each other.
Ooh.
Time and time again, history shows us the dangers of blaming other ethnic groups or refugees for our problems. As an internationalist and someone who believes I am my brother's keeper, I believe it is important that we push back on the idea that Wales is poorer because a Christian from Syria or an Afghan interpreter who has helped to keep our country and our troops safe has sought refuge in Newport, Wrexham, Cardiff or Swansea. The idea that the choice we face in politics today is between tackling child poverty or taking in refugees is completely false. The narrative is being pushed by those who wish to exploit genuine concerns for their own gain. So, to those considering voting reform next May, our message couldn't be clearer. Wales needs optimism and action and not blame. Beyond the divisive rhetoric, I genuinely believe that a reform-led Wales would only make the challenges we all face even harder. Their policies, from plans to privatise our NHS, to cutting local services and giving tax breaks to the wealthiest, are completely at odds with the fair and compassionate Wales people want and deserve. That's why whatever the outcome of the election, I can say that under my leadership, the Welsh Liberal Democrats will never work with reform. The Welsh Liberal Democrats are determined to secure a better deal from Westminster. It is ridiculous that HS2, a railway line that currently runs in England, is still classed as an England and Wales project, and that the Welsh Crown estate has not been devolved, depriving Wales of control over its coastline and swathes of its countryside. Given the raw deal we get from Westminster, I can understand why more people have become indie curious in recent years. However, I believe Plaid Cymru's push for independence will do more harm than good, and we need to be concerned about their rise in the polls and what that means for us here in Wales. The Welsh Liberal Democrats know that with a better deal, Wales can thrive as a confident, strong nation, working as an equal partner within the United Kingdom. And we know we can be even stronger as a member of the European Union. I know it's a bold person who makes predictions in politics these days. But between now and the 7th of May, I am certain of one thing. Plaid Cymru are just downplaying the whole independence agenda and really falsely claiming that they will not have a referendum. They're going to do this because at the moment, before the polls, they know how damaging their pro-independence agenda is for their votes in Wales. But we've seen this approach from the SNP in Scotland, using the same tactics to gain power and then driving division once they are in governments. Their focus on constitutional wrangling has created uncertainty and harmed the Scottish economy. People actually need stability and hope. And this, let us not be in any doubt at all, is exactly what Plaid Cymru will do in Wales if they are in power. Just as their confidence and supply deal with Welsh Labour failed to fix our NHS and social care system, failed to clean up our rivers, and failed to help our economy thrive, Plaid Cymru's push to make Wales independent will fail to improve the lives of people in Wales. The truth is that Wales's problems are deep-rooted and will take time to fix. Any politician who tells you that they can solve them overnight is not telling the truth. And if we cannot trust a politician to tell us the truth about the problems we face, how can we trust them with our children's education or our parents' care? As much as I wish it were otherwise, there are no magic wands or silver bullets to fix the issues that Wales faces. Despite the challenges, I still believe that Wales's best days lie ahead. And Conference, I'm proud to lead a party that's ambitious for Wales, which will have a bold and positive manifesto going forward into the Senedd elections next year. We have an ambition for a Wales where everyone can thrive and reach their potential, leading to happy and healthier lives. To do this, we must be ambitious for our economy, ambitious for our health and social care system, ambitious for the environment, for our education system, and for our public transport network. And, importantly, ambitious for each other. I know that Wales is at its best when people come together to achieve bold goals. I'm ambitious for the Welsh economy because I know the power of a good job, one that pays a fair wage, offers security, and gives people that sense of pride and purpose. As I travel across Wales week in and week out, I see the same story in too many places. Communities still bearing the scars of the past. Too many towns and villages never recovered from the devastation caused by Margaret Thatcher's government. And since then, successive Labour governments in both Cardiff and Westminster have taken those communities for granted. People were promised renewal, but instead they've been left behind with stagnant wages, crumbling infrastructure, and too few opportunities for the next generation. Conference, we can't build better public services that work for everyone across Wales, without a stronger, fairer economy. That's why we must put our ambitions for the Welsh economy at the heart of everything that we do. Because only by growing a vibrant, sustainable economy can we deliver the schools, hospitals, and communities that our nation deserves. To achieve this, we must back businesses to grow in every corner of Wales. That means supporting our small and medium-sized enterprises, the backbone of our communities, with, as we agreed this morning, fairer business rates and the right environment to innovate, invest and thrive. Because when local businesses succeed, our high streets come alive. People find opportunities close to home and the whole economy becomes stronger. But Conference, it's not enough just to create opportunities. We have to make sure that people can take advantage of them. That's why we must be ambitious for lifelong learning here in Wales. Our commitment to provide 30 hours a week of funded childcare, 48 weeks of a year, for preschool children from 9 months old to 4, is just one of the many ways we are more ambitious than Plaid Cymru. Our policy will help tackle child poverty, improve educational attainment, and give a vital boost to Wales's economy. While Plaid think it's okay to settle when it comes to childcare, we know that for too many parents who want to work, the cost of childcare is simply too high right now. Our policy will give parents the freedom to return to the workforce, confident that their children are getting the very best start in life. But conference, education shouldn't just end the day someone starts work. In a modern, dynamic economy, learning must continue throughout life. Wales has a proud history of adult education and night schools, Awyren Addasiedig, a tradition rooted in our belief that everyone deserves the chance to learn, grow and contribute at every stage of their lives. The Welsh Liberal Democrats will build on that tradition by investing more in adult education across Wales. We want to create an environment that supports people as they develop new skills, progress in their careers, or even change direction entirely. Because when we invest in people's potential, we invest in the future of Wales. In the past, Wales's economic success was built on jobs forged in the Industrial Revolution. Today, the Welsh Liberal Democrats believe Wales can once again lead a revolution, a green revolution, one that boosts our economy, creates thousands of jobs, and protects our planet for generations to come. Wales is blessed with extraordinary natural resources. We're surrounded by sea on 3 sides, and it's time we fully harness the power of our tides on our coastal areas. That's why we would invest heavily in offshore wind around our coast and in tidal lagoon projects from Swansea to Colwyn Bay, bringing skilled, sustainable jobs to communities across Wales. Because conference, the failure to deliver the Swansea tidal lagoon is a symbol of how old politics has held Wales back. Had the Conservative government backed that project at any point in the last 12 years, it could today be providing clean power to 155,000 homes for the next 120 years, creating 2,000 jobs and be a world-class visitor attraction. Instead, we're left with lost opportunity and a reminder that Wales can and must do better. But conference, building a stronger economy is not enough. Improving our health and social care must also be at the very heart of our manifesto. As we've agreed this morning, the Welsh Liberal Democrats want to see a new model of health and social care, one rooted in prevention, independence, and strong integrated community supports. A healthcare system that moves away from one-size-fits-all towards a more personalised approach, one that informs, educates, and intervenes early to prevent illness before it occurs. And a social care system that is sustainably funded with the beds, resources, and community care staff needed to prevent the delayed discharges that are crippling our NHS. Every single day, the Welsh Government is spending over £470,000 on patients who are fit to be discharged from hospital. That's why I want the Welsh Government to invest more in the social care system right now, easing the pressure on our NHS and ensuring people get the right care in the right place at the right time. We must listen to our doctors and nurses when they tell us that the system is at breaking points. And that's why, if there is no other way to fund the changes we need, as agreed this morning, we must be willing to increase income tax by a penny in the pound to pay for it. Now I know that some pundits and pollsters will say that going into an election talking about raising taxes is political madness, that it will cost us votes, and perhaps it will. But conference, we are asking the people of Wales to trust us when we say we can build something better. And why should they trust us if we are not honest with them about the choices we face? We can't say there are no silver bullets or magic wands and then pretend there are. Our plans will cost more in the short term, but they will reduce the burden in the long term. Because if we are really serious about creating the healthier, fairer, more prosperous Wales we all want to see, we must invest in our services to make that possible. I know from speaking to people across Wales in recent years that people want change. And they are now trying to work out what type of change they want. Do they want a reform party who are offering simple sound bites and blame? Do they want a pro-independence Plaid Cymru whose obsession with a referendum will set Wales back years? Or do they want honesty and optimism and ambition with the Welsh Liberal Democrats? There will be those in the media who will push their pre-prepared lines and just write us off. But just as we did in last year's general election, we can prove the pollsters and pundits wrong in next year's Senedd elections. We've learned the lessons of July 2024, and as a result, we now have more officers, more grounds campaign staff, and more volunteers than we've had in years. I want Welsh Liberal Democrats elected in every corner of Wales, and I believe we can achieve that. It's been fantastic to see teams across the country working tirelessly for wonderful candidates ahead of next year's Senedd elections. And I'm confident that if we keep fighting, we can prove the doubters wrong and return our largest ever group to the Senedd. So, let me finish with going back to talking about this unique part of Wales. Llangollen, near here, is a place where every year thousands of people from all over the world come to attend the Llangollen International Eisteddfod. Performers travel to this tiny place and stay with people in local communities around Llangollen to celebrate our rich culture. Every year, growing up, I volunteered as a steward in the event, and my family would always accommodate 3 or 4 people from a choir or a dance troupe. For me, Llangollen, just like Wrexham, shows us that we can be proud of our past, and when we come together with a bold ambition, we can be optimistic about our future. Conference places like Llangollen and Wrexham are living examples of a small town and a small city punching above their weight. They're proof that diverse communities can come together with a sense of purpose, pride and ambition. And with compassion and understanding, they can achieve much more than the sum of their parts. Conference, I believe that Wales can once again punch above its weight. And by electing our biggest ever group in the Senedd the next May, we can create a fairer and more caring Wales. So to the people of Wales, our message is clear. If you're tired of politicians who settle for less, join us. If you believe Wales can be more and can do better, join us. Together, through action in our communities, conversations on our doorsteps, and belief in a better future, we can deliver the ambitious change that Wales deserves. Diolch yn fawr iawn.